up, Whitey Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's Anime Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Fate Apocrypha Season 1, Episode 3. And I really have loved what this anime has done so far. It's really doing a good job of adapting the light novel and the manga, which the manga, I will say, does a really good job of adapting the light novel anyway. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to this episode. So I'm really liking how we get to see what's going on through the homunculi's perspective, which is what we see in the light novel. And I really like that we're getting the lore and everything about the homunculi, and how he breaks out is really nice as well. And I like where it stopped before the opening song, which is when he was asking Ryder for help, which was really, really nice. And then Ryder is, taking care of him and finding a place for him to rest while he recovers. So something that Castor says that's really interesting, and hopefully we're going to see it this season, is that that homunculus might match the requirements for the core of my atom. Hopefully we get to see the atom. That would be really cool if we did. I really like that we get to see the the veins of the energy supply in the homunculus. That is so damn nice. And something that and this is Archer that's pointing this out, that this homunculus is like a newborn baby. And he's right, because he's never walked on his own. He's never moved on it, and flat out moved. He's just barely moving on his own. And, well, at this point in the anime, he hasn't hasn't spoken. He's only had, thoughts. Anyway. So now we're seeing Ruler, aka Jeanne d'Arc, aka Joan of Arc. And, the priest mentions Joan of Arc is coming. Lancer's going to intercept her. And I remember seeing this, especially in the manga. I think it was in chapter 3 of the manga, I believe. And that's how it started. So I'm glad that we're seeing a little bit of the manga. I like how they're kind of combining content from the light novel and content from the manga. I think that's really smart of the anime to do. Oh, Lancer looks so good. And I'm talking about Lancer of Red. He looks awesome. Oh my god. Oh, we're going to see Lancer versus Ruler. This is going to be some hype shit right here. Oh my god. Okay, let's get to this fight and see how badass this shit is animated. Oh, and now we're going to get some Lancer versus Saber, Lancer of Red versus Saber of Black. Oh my god, this is gonna be so fucking cool. And now we're gonna get to see how what Ruler's role in the war is. Like, we get to see her purpose right here. So what the Ruler class says, aka Joan of Arc, what she says is, as Ruler, it is her duty to protect the direction of this conflict, aka basically make sure that the rules are being enforced and they're not being broken by either of the other servants. We got the son of a sun god. I'm guessing it's either Helios, or wait a minute, it was mentioned earlier, whatever. We got the son of a sun god versus the dragon-blooded knight. So this is going to be really, really good. Let's get to the fight now. So now we're getting to Siegfried's backstory, which so they did a clash, and now we're getting to Siegfried's backstory. And I like that we're getting the backstories of each of the servants. I think it's really, really smart to do. And I'm big on like history and mythology and shit, so I really like that. I really can't wait to see Lancer of Red's backstory. That one's gonna be good. So now we're learning how Siegfried dies, which was basically the country that he's living in wants Siegfried to die for them, so to speak. And what he says is basically, I will prevent what Siegfried says is, I will prevent the upcoming fight with my death. Like, this is fucked up that the country wants him to die. Like, what? I know this fight ends in a stalemate, but what we've seen of this fight is so freaking good. Oh my god. I'm loving this. So something that ruler class has, which is pretty cool, is that she has the power of detection. So she could see all of Trifus. She could feel like, kind of feel like the power levels and shit. So if someone's coming after her, she could feel it. So there's no need to worry about the ruler class. Okay, first we gotta talk about the homunculus' nightmare. That was so fucked up because he's seeing that all of the homunculus in the tanks like disintegrating, and it's fucked up as hell. Then something that Chiron mentions that's really important is that basically in the case of this homunculus, and I don't know if it's true for all the homunculi, but it's for this homunculus at least, that he only has 3 years to live. And then something Chiron says, another thing that's interesting about the homunculus, which is, or the homunculi, because I gotta be the plural on this one, is that basically homunculi are complete beings. And what Chiron says here that I think is really is nice is, think of the way you will live with the time you have. Which is a really good point. He says to him, because the homunculus says, I don't know how I'm going to do that, basically. And Chiron says, you have to, otherwise your life is no different than how your death is going to be. And I was like, damn, Chiron, that was good. That was good stuff right there. Yay! We're getting Frankenstein's backstory! Woohoo! I'm stoked for this. I can't wait to see how this is animated, because Frankenstein's story is so sad. It really is. How was Frankenstein's story? It was perfect. It was perfect. But I have to ask, how can you say that? That's ugly. Dr. Frankenstein, you're an idiot for saying that she's ugly. Because even with the bandages wrapped up, she did not look like an ugly monster to me. And it's so sad because all she wants is a mate. That's all she wants. All Frankenstein wants with the wish is she wants a mate so she's not alone. And it's so sweet. And it's so sad. And like how she died was really sad because the doctor wouldn't create a mate for her, so she just went into a fire and let herself burn to death. That's so fucked up and sad. Well, I think there's a huge difference in Frankenstein and the homunculi, and that is basically Frankenstein is not, I don't think her life was at a set limit like with the homunculi, and the homunculi are basically overloaded with magic, with magic, while Frankenstein is not. So I think I would say is the main difference between them. And I'm glad Frankenstein threw the flowers in that motherfucker's face, because they are definitely they're similar because technically they're complete beings. They don't have a childhood or anything like that. But at the same time, they're different because Frankenstein I would believe she has a longer lifespan, and the homunculi, based on what Chiron said, only have 3 years. So we find out that Berserker's master, his wish basically is he either, depending on how the war goes, if his sister dies, he's going to bring his sister back to life, but if she doesn't die, he wants to get to the root. And I think by the root, I think he means to the root of like the Yggdrasil tree, or the root of, which is like, which would be really, really cool if he could get to that. Or, maybe the root of magic, but I think he's referring to the root of the Yggdrasil tree. That if that's the case, that'd be fucking sweet. It was so sweet when Frankenstein gave her master the flower. I was like, oh, it's so cute. So what Chiron's wish is that he wants to bring back his immortality, because what happened to him was when he got poisoned by a Hydra, and Hydra poison is really bad. He had basically when after being poisoned by the Hydra, he had to abandon his immortality, and he's basically saying he wants his immortality back because it's a connection with his parents. And something that's important in mythology wise is one of his parents is a Titan, and that Titan, if I remember correctly, which I think I'm right, that Titan is Kronos. Yeah, Chiron is the son of Kronos. and his master's wish is, she wants to be able to use her legs, and she was saying it's selfish. No, it isn't selfish. I don't blame her. If I was paraplegic, that's what I would want too. I'd want to be able, if I had a wish, I'd want to be able to use my legs as well. I don't blame her for wanting that. And something she points out though, and this is a reason why she wants the wish, should I heal my legs naturally? Because if you see her legs, they are bloody to shit. If she heals her legs naturally, all of her magic circuits will be removed, which basically would mean she's not a magus anymore. She says she wants to be able to feel the ground while she's still a magus. And I totally understand that. Like, I was using paraplegic as an example, but but this explanation for why she wants to use her legs, because she wouldn't be able to use it if her, like, I think if she uses the wish for the Holy Grail for her legs, she'll be able to still have her magical circuits. But if she lets them heal naturally, what she's saying is that her magical circuits would be cut off and she wouldn't be able to use magic ever again. And that's really sad. Oh my god. I'm glad Chiron said that to her, that she's not being selfish. And I agree, she isn't being selfish. If anything, I would say Chiron's wish is a little bit more selfish than hers. I'm very curious what you guys think. Now we get to see, after, the homunculus asking, why the fuck am I here? We get to see some Mordred and Chichigo. I'm so excited for that. I love Mordred. I love her. Jeez, Mordred's being stubborn as fuck. She's just whining. She's like, this is uncomfortable. I hate these conditions. But, like, I understand Chichigo's reasoning for it is basically it's where they're staying at in the cemetery is beneficial for both of them, because one, it's going to replenish Mordred's power, and two, it's like with the stuff that Chichigo set up, it's going to be easy to detect the enemy. And then he's like, if you want to go out by yourself. And Mordred's like, no, fuck that. It's going to be lonely. Or it's going to be, not lonely. It'll be boring if I go out by myself. So what we find out about, what Mordred reveals about her noble phantasm is that it's so powerful. It's basically like an anti-army attack. And what she says kind of surprised me. She says she doesn't want innocent people getting hurt by it. So basically, they're going to try and fight in open spaces. Because they don't want to, get the civilians involved. I love Chichigo's response. He's like, yeah, we won't get we'll try not to get the peasants involved, Your Highness. I was like, yeah, that was fucking funny. I'm sorry, it was just funny. Mordred's like, what did you just call me? And he's like, Your Highness. And he said, you're the one calling them common folk. Chichigo, that was great. He got you there, Mordred. And then he says, and only people in high places call people that. And he says, and isn't your wish to be king? I was like, oh, Chichigo. He just shut down your point, Mordred. Or he shut down. So now you can't whine or bitch about him calling you Your Highness. And Chichigo's like, might as well start calling you Your Highness now. And he says, do you mind? And Mordred's just like stunned, and she's like, no, I do not. And Chichigo says, well, make sure that the normal people don't get involved, or I should say, I'm gonna call them the normies. Make sure the normies don't get involved. And she's like, okay. I think Mordred's just stunned by Chichigo, why he just but by his logic. His logic is right. His logic is spot on. So we get the message from Shiro that, and I love how we got the message. That was fucking creepy as fuck too. But anyway, we get the message that Berserker's attacking the castle, and basically they need to go stop him. So let's see if we're going to see a little bit of that fight before the episode ends, or if we're going to have to wait until next week. So we're gonna see the fight next week, which I kind of figured, but, and also this, episode is titled A Fate to Walk, but there was something I wanted to point out. Shit. Oh, now I remember. That berserker is what I call a berserker. That's what a berserker is, man. Because berserkers, usually from what I remember, from Fate Stay Night, berserkers like to go on a rampage, and this motherfucker going on a rampage. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comment section below. What did you think about the lore about the homunculi? What did you think about the different backstories that we got this episode? And what do you think about the different wishes as well from both the masters and the servants that we got this episode? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdic and Sync. If you love what I'm doing and want to contribute to the Nerdic and Sync expansion, there's a few ways you could do that. You could donate to the Nerdic and Sync PayPal, Patreon, or purchase something off the Nerdic and Sync Amazon wishlist. All those links are in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow me on the Twits, aka Twitter. Follow my Twitch channel, friend me on PlayStation Network. All that in the description box below as well. And until next time, Nerdigans, I'll be seeing you later. Bye!